All right. Hi, Cromwell here. Happy holidays. And I hope you're having a beautiful time. I have had a wonderful time, and I genuinely do hope you've had the same. So, this episode is tagged Finding Home. And I know that I have been looking for a house in Lagos, and this has nothing to do with any of that. I'm not teaching you how to find one, even though I might just do that. But this is about finding something deeper. This is about finding home in people, building relationships that are what your heart needs and what you need for the journey of life. And today I'll be sharing kind of like an interesting perspective on my story with this, something that you could use, particularly in this holiday season, to be able to build and invest in those friendships, your family, your other relationships that make the journey of life easier for you. So if you've been feeling like a bit, what I say, distant, or you're feeling like some relationships are dying and you don't know what to do about them, if you're feeling like just needing that companionship, but it feels like it's a bit distant or not present, I think this episode is going to be something you would love and would help in that journey. All right, so come on in. My name is David Cromwell, and I believe in the virality of thoughts and the power of conversations to shape how we live for the better. This space is a home for people who are on a journey to truly live the way we were created to. Welcome to your safe space. Welcome to Cromwell's Apple. Hi guys, DC here. So interestingly, when I talked about this episode and I was going to release this and I said finding home, I told Tife and then she was like, you want to teach people how to find houses in Lagos? So like when I started the episode, wasn't actually a coincidence. Like genuinely, when I mentioned it, like she thought I was trying to talk about real estate. But no, that's actually not what this conversation is about. This conversation is actually about finding, just how homes feel like, where you could be caught in traffic. Maybe you live in Lagos. And if you notice what happened, I think it was in November, early December, when we're like in this kind of crazy good luck traffic where some people were getting home by like 2 a.m. And you could be caught in traffic and genuinely are just thinking to yourself that like, man, I can't wait to be on my bed. You could be in another city and you just can't wait to feel like you're back in your place, like where the temperature feels like, feels like home, right? And in many ways, I feel like people can be home, where genuinely it's like the world can feel cold, estranged, even a bit different, or even just, many things happening. And in the back of your mind, you're just like, man, I can't wait to be around this person. I can't wait to go out with this person. I can't wait to talk to this person. And in many ways, people can actually be home. And this particular episode is going to be very short because I want it to be very punchy. And it's a holiday season and I don't want to edit too much. But the heart of the episode is finding home and how to do so. So I think one of the most interesting things about our generation is we seem to be the generation with the most tools to build like the deepest relationships, but somehow it still looks like we're the most alone, right? And searching for relationships that we can actually rely and depend on. So it's like this paradox where we have all the tools to be the best, but somehow like our results are even not as good as those who had less tools. And I think amongst many things, one of the things that impacts us is that we genuinely don't know how to find home. And this episode is really just a short exposure on the journey. So this year, I really got to experience the blessings of relationships across different facets, really, from my work relationships to my friendships, to my family, to even extended family, even in ministry, like church family and the likes. And genuinely, like, I remember one time, like, I sat down with my mom and we were just talking and having a conversation and we're just talking. And I think one of the things we landed at that time was just really that, like, there is wealth that does not have currency. There are things that you can be rich in and be wealthy in, and they don't actually have naira or dollars that you can peg to it. You can be rich in peace. You can be rich in joy. And you can be rich in relationships. Like you can be rich in having these things that just give your heart rest. They help your heart to fuck on ballet. That's Yoruba for saying that your heart is at rest. And riches don't are not always measured in currency. It reminded me of when I remember we were just leaving school at that time. I had been in boarding school for like 6 years. Then the COVID period, I studied engineering 5 years, and so I had like an extra year because of COVID. So that was another 6 years, and I just realized that like, man, I'm leaving school. I barely have spent any time with this family at all because I've been in boarding school. Then I went to university. I think it would be really nice for us to be able to have a period of time where we actually just got to get to know each other and really just spend time with each other. And I think interestingly, like I've just gotten the best of both worlds. Like God has taken care of my career in that process, but I've also gotten the opportunity to really develop like very strong bond with my family, and I'm so grateful for that. So yesterday we had a hangout. Not yesterday, like 2 days ago actually, and we got to chill, and there was the pressure of all of it. And by the way, just so you guys know that people always come with pressure, how to entertain them, all the other things, and eventually just started playing music, started playing Beastmaster on Netflix, and everybody was entertained by that. And then we got into playing Ludo, and boy, that felt so heavenly. It felt so heavenly. Like just little things, like just how much those things are things that we got to enjoy. And just thinking on everything, there was just a queue of thoughts that just came to my mind that I could literally go through every single person that was there that came to celebrate. Also context as well. My mother's birthday is on the 26th, so people also came to celebrate her. People actually came to celebrate her. And then in the process, we just had a beautiful time. And I could just look around and I could think of multiple reasons why every one of them could have not been there. Like we could have chosen to settle for misunderstandings and different things that might have happened along the journey of life. Like, many things happen all throughout the years that pass. And it just clicked that when it comes to the whole conversation about finding home, it's not really finding home. It's more of building home, because home is built. It's formed from intentionality, because how we really find home is that we find the right materials or people that we can build with, and then we continue to show up and we pour into that construction project until it becomes a home. You begin to mature when you realize that finding home in relationships is very similar to how you find homes physically. There is no home that appears naturally. Nature does not build any home for anybody. What you do is that people gather the materials that nature has given us, we build according to our taste and our needs, and then we live in them. And in very similar fashion, that's how relationships are. And so with everyone that has successfully built home, or maybe found home, are people who have had multiple reasons to give up on each other but never took it. So I just think on many of these things, and it just really, I remember when I had lost my dad and just looking at just how much people rallied around us in that period. How would the things have been if I didn't have Uncle Tunde that was driving us? Encouraging my uncle that was there praying with us, Uncle A. Like, how would things have been if we didn't have my grandma Dupe, my actual grandma, like Auntie Tinuke, like all these people that just, came around us in this period, and literally we were in the midst of something that looked like people would run away from, and they just stuck their neck, irrespective of all the things that we were, all the bad character that we might have had prior to that moment. But when it was time for like Avengers to just show up in that moment, like people were like, bro, we're gonna be there. And those things are things you can't buy. You can't buy heart. And so what am I saying to you is this, that finding home would look more like materials. A person that loves you to death but maybe doesn't understand your sense of humor that much. A parent that loves you and will be willing to die for you in a second, but maybe doesn't say the right things and can be a bit too religious sometimes, or can be, or a friend that, has that level of care and just undivided love for you, but then maybe they have a bit of quirks in certain areas. So maybe this is just a call for you to try again with those materials that you have, because you might actually find out that, and I think growing up many times is realizing that understanding the things that you can't teach and the things that you can teach. Someone having a very, very intentional love for you that lasts, that is time tested through disagreements, through distance, through different stuff, like those kind of people that no matter where you are, their hearts are never sour towards you. Like, no matter how much you even break them, they always come back, and if there's ever a need for you, will show up. Now, those things are rare. Other things like chemistry, all other things like maybe learning into each other, these are things that we can build on that foundation, but those other things are rare. And I guess it's just a cue for you to just build the home that you need. So use this holiday season as one to do that, right? So that's it for me. It's going to be a short episode. So next year, build with me too, I beg. All right, so next year is going to be really fun. I have great stuff in store. I think we're going to get even more closer to the vision of what I have in my mind. So I might take some time to get the podcast up and running. It might be February before we get things running again. And the reason is I'm just trying to set some structure. Some changes are coming my way, and there might be more responsibilities. So I want to be able to outsource some elements of the work here so that I can invest in the quality and the management of it, and then the execution of some areas can be handled. So please, if you want to support, please let me know. Send me a message if you want to donate. So I need someone that could partner with me on the editing, the videos, also someone that can help me manage the community as well. That would be really, really great. I would love that. I really want to be able to be more in touch with the community. Someone that could talk to people, get to just have a feel of where people are with things that we are creating and pushing out here. So I need to build a team. I need to build my Avengers. So if you're interested in being there, please let me know. And another way you can help out is you can donate to help me with the payment, because that will cost paying. And I don't know if you realize, but when you listen to this podcast, you don't pay for anything. So I'll be giving, but I think it's worth it. I value this a lot, so I will pay for it. And in case you value this as well with me, you can also be a part of supporting me with donating to help that happen. And also, you can also give me feedback, right, on things that can be improved, to consider. And if you can't do that, you can also give me topics or things to talk about as well. All right, so with that said, the rain is telling me that it's time for me to queue out. Have a wonderful holiday period. Please do your actual best to rest. It doesn't matter the kind of company that you're working in. Please rest. It's very, very important. And also keep your hope alive for the next year. It's not going to be a waste. Hope is a very integral part of life. So raise your hopes high and just expect the best. All right. So that's nice. I love you all so much. Bye, my people. See you next time at the Harbor. Bye. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, because I won't be here to tell you that. I might not release an episode in January to tell you that. But in February, I'll continue and tell you Happy New Year again. All right. Bye, guys. Bye.